to offer the floor to the plurinational state of Bolivia for their statement.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Allow me to thank the Presidency for convening this meeting, which is of interest to the entire international community. We welcome to this meeting the Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Cuba, Bruno Rodriguez Barria, and we welcome the presence of the entire delegation. Bolivia aligns itself with the statements made by Uganda on behalf of G77 and China, by Azerbaijan on behalf of the Non-Aligned Movement, by St. Vincent and the Grenadines on behalf of the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, and by Eritrea on behalf of the Group of Friends in Defense of the United Nations Charter. We wish to make the following comments in our national capacity. President, Excellencies, colleagues, allow me at the outset to thank the sister Republic of Cuba for their unwavering solidarity to the most noble causes of humankind. Its health, education, and humanitarian aid brigades have been selfless and have been deployed across the globe. The peoples of the world have witnessed how 60 years have not been enough to punish a people united in solidarity. Moreover, we're seeing the ratcheting up of the economic, commercial, and financial embargo imposed by the United States of America. Just think how many lives could have been saved if Cuba had had the freedom and the opportunity to share with the rest of the world the vaccines which were successfully developed in Cuban laboratories. Mr. President, myriad reports from specialized agencies and the report of the Secretary General demonstrates that the embargo has been the greatest impediment to Cuba's achievement of the SDGs. Moreover, the report confirms the international consensus that exists around the need to put an end to this economic, commercial, and financial embargo which has been illegitimately and illegally imposed against Cuba. However, in spite of this international consensus and in spite of the support of the overwhelming majority of this General Assembly, the aggressor country prefers to ignore and flout the decisions and resolutions adopted year after year. This is one more demonstration of the double standards of certain states. While some countries comply with and uphold international law and multilateralism, others treat this General Assembly in a disgraceful way. Mr. President, it is inconceivable and contradictory that the most solidarity-driven country in the world be included unilaterally and outside the perimeters of international law on the list of state sponsors of terrorism drawn up by the United States. This is a flagrant aggression against the Cuban people, an act whose only goal is to create further suffering through unjust and inhumane sanctions. There is no valid argument for Cuba's placement on this list. As such, the plurinational state of Bolivia demands Cuba's immediate removal from this list. That will rectify a historic mistake and serve to remedy perhaps irreparable damage against the Cuban people. President, Bolivia is a country which seeks sisterly relations and cooperation between peoples and governments with a view to contributing to mutual understanding, comprehensive equitable development, the promotion of intercultural coexistence, and all of this with full respect for the sovereignty of peoples and the independence of states. It is precisely for this reason that we roundly condemn and reject the implementation of any policy based on interference or interventionism, and we impose the application of any unilateral coercive measures which violate the sovereignty, independence, or territorial integrity of any states. With this in mind, my country intends to deepen its cooperation with Cuba and other countries of the world to strengthen sustainable development in all its facets. As part of that policy, the Bolivia's national airline and the strategic public business that is Bolivian aviation has this week inaugurated commercial flights, direct commercial flights indeed, between Santa Cruz in Bolivia and Havana, Cuba, to promote trade, integration and cultural exchange between our peoples. Finally, Mr. President, for the aforementioned reasons, Bolivia supports the resolution that will be adopted today. That will add to more than 30 resolutions that have not yet succeeded in putting an end to the ongoing act of aggression that the brave Cuban people has weathered. We reaffirm our commitment to continue to work to ensure that sooner rather than later this aggression against Cuba is put to an end, because nothing weakens multilateralism more than the fact that a state is able to violate with impunity the human rights of an entire people. That act is grounded in military and economic might. Peoples will never be vanquished when the causes that they fight for are justice, the defense of life, and the defense of dignity. Thank you, Mr. President.
I should like to thank the distinguished representative of Bolivia